Carlton's Craig Bradley has won the toss. He's kicking to the left. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing Matthew Allen. He hasn't missed a game this season and has emerged as one of the dominant ruckmen in the competition.
Steve Silvani and Matthew Lloyd going head-to-head. That'll be a tremendous battle. And Dean Wallace is playing at centre-half forward, picking up or being picked up by Koutafidis.
Interesting. Somerville doing the ruck work. Went early against Matty Allen. Barry Young taken out of it. The hurried kick to half forward was by Joe Masidi. Over the top it goes. Michael Long, if it sits, look out. Long spun out of trouble. That was by Andy McKay. Buick at the back. His hand pass goes astray. Murphy takes it, and they're out of trouble through Sexton to the outer side. This is Manton. Off he goes to young Massey. Chris Massey looks up towards centre wing. A positive thrust by Essendon early on, chopped off Beaumont. Somerville gave him a little one to go on with. Quick little flick comes out. Wellman, a high ball up towards half forward. Sexton is there and he takes the mark.
Yes, Michael Sexton really running into a bit of form at the moment too as he brings it in towards the half-forward area. Misdirected kick mark dropped by Masiti, or Malcroft got into the back of his opponent. But there's Rice bringing it down towards half-forward in the direction of Whitnell. Jukovic went without it. Now Barnard. Now Ratton. Quick kick to the half-forward line. The race is on. This is Jukovic. He's very, very quick. Sockers it off the ground. Now, when umpires see that as in the back, he does against Murphy. And it will be a kick, and it will go Essendon's way to Heffernan.
Chris Heffernan at half-back. Looks down towards centre wing. And once again, over the line and out of bounds. Throw in on centre wing. Perfect day, really, for football here in Melbourne. A cool day. We may get the odd shower later on. We understand it's raining at Waverley at the moment. But at the moment here, cool, pleasant little breeze. Somerville's kick down towards Wallace. They're all over Wallace. He doesn't get a free kick. Koutafidis couldn't take it cleanly. Neither could Rice. Moorcroft tries to soccer it forward. Back again to Rice at the bottom of the pack. Out the back door, Michael Long. That was clever. Great tackling early on. That was McKay doing the heavy work. Ratton taken to the line. And we've got a throw-in on right half forward. Good, tight, hard start here at the MCG.
Perfect tackle, that one by Andy McKay, who has pushed himself to the limit over the last couple of months and really is playing good football now.
Allen and Alessio. Allen, the form ruckman of the competition. Now here's Murphy, who can be very, very good when he's firing. But that Carlton backline, Gerard, is a very, very strong one. And I just hope they don't ever move Steve Silvani from full-back again.
No, they're a stronger side with him playing there. They have, of course, got Ange Christou that will at some stage come back into that side. Skull kicking is their biggest concern.
Masiti looking for Moorcroft. Just took his eyes off it a bit. Wellman, a wobbly kick to the half-forward line. Wallace playing in front of Koutafidis. Here's Pryor. Still Pryor. He's got support from the brilliant Mercury. He's a very, very clever player. Brings it out in front of Blumfield. Massey's after him. Or how the umpire see that he's calling play on. Still Blumfield. Hasn't got a lot of pace. Solomon, he's staging for a free kick, not given. Here's Buick. He threw the ball away. Here's Mark Mercury, dodging and weaving. He is clever. Fantastic play to Solomon, who lines up the goals and pings away and puts it through.
And wasn't that an emphatic goal? He pumped that one through. Dean Solomon. Brilliant work by Mark Mercury to set it up for him. Weaved his magic and got around a number of players. Could well have been a free kick there to Justin Blumfield. But the Bombers kept this football alive. Throw players looking for free kicks, but the umpires want them to earn it. And finally, we got a big goal.
Dean Solomon getting the first of the day. Working well with Mark Mercury. Allen again winning the tap down towards Murphy, unable to take it away cleanly. Murphy can't sneak out the back door, caught one in the face, and he's still down in the middle. We'll keep an eye on that. Mercury tries to flick it forward, then thrown out towards Long. Can he get clear of McKay? No, he can't. Well done by Andrew McKay. Sexton almost taken high. He is, and the advantage is paid. Kicks down towards right half forward. Spooned out by Solomon, who just kicked that goal to Barry Young. Young looks down towards the 50, and Wallace once again couldn't take it. Man will try and chop it off. It misses him down in Lloyd territory. Lloyd gives it to Wallace. They've got another one, the Bombers. here at the G.
Yes, it's all Essendon just at the moment. They push that ball forward, and Solomon once again having an impact on this match. Michael Long is matched up against Andy McKay, which is going to be one of the battles of the afternoon. You see there Lloyd coming through, getting onto the McKay kick, and this is a good move by Kevin Sheedy at this stage, because Dean Wallace, who's gone forward to go onto Anthony Koutafidis, has kicked an early one.
Well, tremendous desperation shown by Essendon there in a number of patches. There's Peter Somerville. But what a start to the Bombers.
And Koutafidis has now moved up to the wing.
Well, Steve Alessio's is in there also at centre half forward, or they both jumped at each other. Allen scooped it with the left hand. Here's Justin Blumfield. Bring it forward again for the Bombers. Good punch away by Rice. Big Steve Alessio. Quick hands. Long caught by McKay. Good pick up Camporelli. Umpire calling play on. Down the centre wing. Here's Bradley. Now he very rarely wastes the ball. Hand pass over the top to Nelson. No, it's not. It's Beaumont. Beaumont switches onto the left foot. Brings it into Pearce. He can't get there. Jukovic is at the back. Whitnell is a very, very clever player. But look at Jukovic go. Good play to Wellman on the Buick, and Buick kicks it towards the centre of the ground.
His target there is Mark McCurry, unable to take it cleanly. Now a chance for Nelson. Goes wide to Beaumont. Gee, the tackling of Andy McKay so far in this game has been exciting. He's caught Michael Long on 2 occasions and brought him to the ground. Speak of the devil, there is Michael Long now, off to Blumfield, back to Long. Started with Barry Young, up towards half forward. Lloyd, they use him as a step ladder. He propped over. Alessio pokes it down to Moorcroft. Moorcroft round the body, there's no one at home. And Glenn Manton takes it safely on the chest. Probably look towards Camporelli after Koutafidis. Kouta's got it. He comes towards Camporelli on centre wing, and he takes the mark.
Camporelli's being picked up by Mark Johnson. He's just got away from him at the moment. But good move with Sexton going down on the Wallace. Koutafidis moved into the midfield.
Lovely kick to Whitnell, but Lance has let him down. That was a very poor kick, and he may pay a hefty price for it. Moorcroft, Wallace takes the mark, and he's going to have a shot. He's already kicked one. There's no one in the square. He's 50 metres out, and he goes short. Moorcroft the target. Can he get away from Rice? He can't. He's brought to ground. The umpires are letting play go on at random here today at the moment. Camporelli shrugs the tackle. He sneaks away from half back, goes to the outer side, and he finds his big man in Allen. They're out of trouble.
Oh, gee, that was wasted down there for the Bombers when that mark was dropped by Moorcroft.
Cooter was lucky to get away with that handball. He threw it in the air.
Aaron Hamill to Murphy. Now Murphy's one of the best kicks in the competition. He doesn't let me down. He kicks long down towards full forward. Here's Lappin in the back, said the umpire, and looked a little bit man on man.
Well, it was just a side bump. The ball looked to be within 5 metres. I would have thought that was play on Pete.
Yes, I agree with you. Michael Pryor to the half back line. This is Barry Young. He's in terrific form. He brings it in towards half forward. Oh, it should have been a free kick down here to McCurry. It is. It's coming back. There's no doubt he was held in a headlock. Mark McCurry, a very, very exciting player. Look at this. Doesn't muck around, but he's made a mistake. It might come off. Blumfield tries to give off a hand pass. No free kick to Nelson. Taken away by Camporelli, who drives to centre wing.
It's been all Essendon in these opening couple of minutes. They've kicked 2 goals, and the Mercedes hand pass finds Wellman. Wellman to the outer side. Now here's the battle between Long and McKay, but it passes them. It comes back to Michael Long. He rode that one beautifully. Round he comes onto the left foot, spearing a pass in towards half forward. Rice will try and chop it off. Could have been held in Rice, but he plays on. It's okay for the Blues because it finishes with Ratton. His kick under pressure, however, is wide, and it's out of bounds on the full.
And you mentioned the word pressure, and that's what Essendon have been applying at 100% for this first 5 or 6 minutes of this match. They are on fire up in the forward line, and the Blues just can't get the ball into their forward 50.
Michael Pryor is the player bringing it back in towards Alessio. Beaumont right there with him. Beaumont just tapping it forward to accommodate his teammate who's brought to ground. McCurry can't get away, and the umpire has come in to take charge. We've got a bounce on centre wing. Umpires today are Andrew Coates, John Harvey and Jamie Love. An accountant, a bank manager and a greenkeeper. on the outer wing. This is John Harvey, the man in white. Day turning a little overcast. Alessio did well. Murphy won't get there in time. We've got another throw-in goal so far to Dean Solomon and Dean Wallace for the Bombers.
And good to see John Harvey bouncing the ball this week. Last week up in Brisbane decided he'd just throw it up in the air for the entire match.
Andrew Coates apparently had a crook back. Now there's someone with the left hand. Murphy, Camporelli just got his boot to it, but there's a lot of pressure on in this game. Blumfield got it to McCurry. Now Wellman, low trajectory kick to Lloyd, or Lloyd smothered that beautifully. Wallace is working hard. Look at Silvani attack Wallace. Oh, that's not paying a free kick, surely.
He might have just caught him a bit high there, Pete. It was a big lunge from Sauce.
Oh, I thought he was a little bit lucky. Look at this. Oh, yes, no, round the neck. No, the umpire's right. He did get him high. 5
free kicks to Essendon early in the match. Carlton yet to register a score.
Well, Dean Wallace is providing a terrific target down there because he works so hard and he really lets... he's terrific for the smaller teammates around him, Gerard.
Yeah, he's just bulldozing his way through packs. He's got on the end of a nice kick earlier in the match, kicked a goal, and well, he's lining up for 2 in the first quarter. And that would be a great return.
Well, it'd be a great bonus if Wallace could kick 3 or 4 or even 5 from centre forward. Now he's got to kick this one from 50 metres for his second goal of the game. It's drifting away and he has missed.
Really is an onslaught at the moment, isn't it? The Bombers are just on fire. Mark McCurry's getting plenty of the football. Sean Wellman dominating across the half-back line. Darren Buick looking dangerous, as is Michael Long.
It hasn't been inside Carlton's 50, I don't think, has it?
Once.
Silvani, Manton and Camporelli defending. Bringing it out wide to Beaumont. He marks on the outer wing. This crowd continuing to build. I think it will probably be over 60,000 now. He goes back to Camporelli. And back to where it all started. Silvani.
Yeah, the official inside 50 figures are 8-2, Pete.
Here's Michael Sexton, almost in the middle of the ground. Sexton called to play on. Kicks it down towards Hamill, who took a bit of a finger tipper. Aaron Hamill. Now a chance for the Blues to get on the board. Penetrating kick. Pearce, however, edged out of it. And the Bombers looking very, very good in this first quarter. Still a long way to go. Jukovic brings it wide. McCurry hand pass. It's okay for Masidi. Over the top he goes. Heffernan, young boy from Terang, kicks up towards right half forward. Good strong mark by Blumfield. He can go all the way. Sauce won't catch him. Massey won't catch him, but he pulls the ball across the face and then it spins with a leg break. Michael Long will keep it in. Long, you're going to be caught and surrounded. It was like Cowboys and Indians. Bradley swung into 360. Finally it finishes with Silvani and the Blues are out of trouble. Silvani comes back towards centre wing. Whitnell the target. Coming over with a big fist for the Bombers is Paul Barnard. And we've got a throw in.
And Pete, what do you think? The higher the pressure, the more you need a long, high-marking, tall forward. Because just at the moment, we've seen the Blues bomb the ball in there just a couple of times. Brad Pearce leading out. And they've got a guy like Anthony Koutafidis just roaming on the wing. Maybe the time is for him to go forward.
Yes, well, sometime during the game, if they're not scoring goals, I'm sure he will go forward. But he's been such a good rebounding centre-half back during this year, Gerard. But Whitnell's coming right up the ground, but gee, he's going to be in for a tough day on Barnard. He just charges at you, he hits you with everything and really makes you earn every kick. Some of them against Allen. Allen, or big fist over the back. Buick and Bradley, a bit of talent between those two. It's actually kept in play here, but now it rolls over right in front of the Melbourne members.
You talk about getting the job on Barnard. It's probably a little bit like taking someone else's bull terrier for a Sunday stroll.
Yes, it's going to be a good clash, that one. It'll make a big difference to the game too. Now that's Murphy getting it to Bradley to centre wing. This is Lappin. Now a free kick in the meantime, and some ironical cheers as Nelson gets the free kick. Now that's from the Carlton supporters, of course. Now low trajectory kick in towards half foot. It's a beautiful kick, and the mark has been taken here by Pearce. He's got to move it quickly, get it down to his forwards quickly. Oh, he's bringing it backwards to a good kick nevertheless in Murphy. He'll bomb it long. It's up and high towards the half forward area, but racing and taking uncontested mark is Barnard, who gives it off to Solomon.
Solomon, who kicked the first goal of the day. Goes wide to Wallace, playing across half forward. Sexton is right there with him, and we've got to throw in. These two sides playing for the Madden Cup, Justin and Simon, both of whom served these two clubs quite magnificently for a long, long time.
Well, Mark Johnson, I think it is, coming off the ground, and Fraser coming on, and that's because Scott Camporelli has just been getting the football like he's got his own ball out there with 9 possessions.
Here's McKay up towards right half forward, unable to take the mark with Solomon. Very good attempt and solid work too by Beaumont. Bombers by 13 points.
Carlton's only won the football inside their forward 50 2 times. 2 players for the Blues have got a possession inside their forward 50. The other end, the Bombers have had 12.
Hasn't he developed into a terrific ruckman, Alan?
Oh, fantastic. Getting the free kick against Somerville. Now this will be interesting. Kudafiti's got the fingertips to it from behind. Was unable to take the mark. Massey feeling the heat in the kitchen, but he goes again, the youngster, for a second attempt. That was clever play by Lappin. They may get out of this. Kudafiti's just outside 50. Pulls that ball fiercely, though, to the left. They do record their first score of the day. It's a behind.
Well, the way that the Blues have got their game structured at the moment, they need to have Kudafiti's pushing out from the goal square, or at least floating around that position 30 or 40 metres out from goal.
That's going to be their problem, whether they can kick enough goals to defeat this Essendon side.
Michael Pryor goes to the outer side, and he finds Sean Wellman.
Wellman gives it off to Solomon, who drives it long down, or pushing the back to Sexton.
It wasn't a free kick, but
oh, goodness me. He was pushed straight in the middle of the back. There's Wallace.
And John Harvey was right next to it, looking fair at it.
Barry Young gives it off to Fraser. He can race towards goal. He kicks long. The Blues defenders get back. Oh, no, I don't think that was... Did he get that in the first bite, or his teammate? Silvani's been paid. I thought Manton got a touch to that. Silvani.
50 metres.
Yes, it is too.
Massey coming from the ground, and he's been replaced by
Simon
31.
Fletcher. Yeah, Simon Fletcher's
First
on.
gamer.
Well, he'll be a very... Oh, gee, that definitely came off Manton's hands. I felt that one. Now the kick in towards half forward. No, Mark Beaumont should get a free kick. He was legged. He certainly was, and the Blues crowd responds with delight now. Beaumont's going to drive it low in towards half forward. Jukovic flies over the back. Couldn't hang on to it. Sock it off the ground. The race is on. Dean Rice is there racing. Good play by Rice to knock it onto Manton. Moorcroft is there. Ben Nelson will grab it. He gives it back to Rice. Rice further afield to Manton, and Manton will drive it in towards centre wing.
The Blues have stemmed the flow at the moment. Lappin has it on centre wing. Looks down towards Pearce. Marks a long way out. Effortlessly round Jukovic. He can set something up here for Scotty Camporelli. He bangs it back magnificently. Now they're on the ball. What a goal from Scott Camporelli.
Yes, a piece of genius, Sandy, an individual performance. Well done by Brad Pearce also, but just good foot skills from the Blues on display here. Nice little dummy to set him up. Was under pressure. He had a couple of options in the middle of the ground, but Peter, that was a brilliant goal.
It was brilliant, and they've steadied Carlton, and they're looking better the last 2 minutes. Well, there's David Parkin. David Parkin, Steve Kernan on the right, and former great row Adrian Gallagher. And that was a great goal by Camporelli. He had to do it quickly, and that's a sign of a very, very highly skilled player. Centre of the ground. Well, Ratton went in hard on Fraser. Still Fraser. And he's trying to credit. The umpires love letting it go out of the middle. There's a quick kick coming down towards half forward. Rice, no free kick or mark. Moorcroft. In went McKay. Gee, but those two go in very, very hard. And Wallace is there to lend a hand as well.
And they've got a bit of a problem in there, the Blues. There's been 4 centre bounces, and Essendon have won the lot pretty comfortably.
Carlton are normally fairly good at the centre bounce with Allen and Ratton. There's Kevin Sheedy, Mark Harvey, former great half forward there also. Now kicked away by Andrew McKay. He's having a terrific season. Blumfield after it. He's not blessed with a lot of pace, and that's why he was beaten to it at first. Solomon is a very, very impressive young player. Bends it back to Barry Young. Oh, that's a good mark. A very good mark. And he'll take this at centre wing.
One of those ones where he just had to stand and wait for the galloping hordes. He showed his courage with the boy from St Arnaud. Got to go back and take his kick.
Well, we're midway through the first turn. The pace just starting to come off it. You wouldn't be surprised to see Fraser Brown emerge from the dugout soon.
Koutafidis. Oh. Beautifully done to Manton, off to Sexton. From the last line of defence towards McKay has been a fairly safe avenue. Barry Young and Dean Solomon providing stern opposition. Barry Young now over a century of games, game number 123. Somerville misses Allen. Proppy hand pass for McKay. Michael Long, a roundhouse left, only as far as Ratton. Buick couldn't take it cleanly. Hamill gives chase on Wellman. Can't trap it. It's away from Wellman. Down towards Jukovic. He defends. Tries to get away from Pearce and does so pretty well in the end, Jukovic. Penetrating kick back towards Allen at the back. Unable to take the mark. Slap clear to accommodate Long. Can he get clear? No, that's the third time they've got him. Gee, the tackling's been sensational. Kick towards Blumfield. He has it almost stolen by a teammate. Then he recovers. Sensational hand pass. Should result in a goal to the Bombers. Great play by McCurry and co.
Well, they're in good form here, the Bombers. Despite the number of big-name omissions at the moment, they've just got a very good group of midfielders, which include Long and McCurry, and they're just winning so much of the football. They're looking a little bit sharper and a little bit quicker than the Blues at the moment. And the Blues are going to have to find some answers because they're about to be blown out of the park.
So there's James Hird looking on. He'd love to be out there, of course, but that was great play by McCurry because he deliberately kicked that ball off the side of the boot to set it up for his teammates, then went and received the hand pass. So let's see if the Blues can get it out. Hamill to Camporelli. Fraser had the pace to get with him. Here's Hamill. Gets his boot, was pushed in the back. Down towards Pearce, who Jukovic's doing well on him. Taken away by the ferocious Barnard. On to Buick, who's running into a bit of form also. And this Essendon side are playing with a lot of confidence as the kick. It gains about 50 metres around the boundary line and over.
Four minutes remaining in this first quarter. Essendon supreme at the moment, but leading by just 12 points. Allen and Somerville. Some jostling at the back. Bradley goes down in the front. This is Ratton. Up towards half forward. And 4 deep with Sean Wellman.
Killiam across half back, Essendon.
Yeah, Sean Wellman has been patrolling nicely there.
Wonderful season last year. McKay comes over the top. It's an effective spoil down towards Camporelli. An exciting goal kicker earlier on. Murphy to Bradley, back to Murphy. He's down to centre wing. He looks towards Lappin. It's too wide, way too wide, and another throw in. In fact, out of bounds on the full, so it gives Michael Pryor a chance to go towards Mark McCurry. Carlton going the long way home at the moment. This is Carosella. Centering kick, wanting to go down the middle. And
free kick.
Yeah, but should have pushed to Heffernan. Well, that's incredible.
Murphy was dragged out of the marking contest by the arm.
Unbelievable. Play has gone on. Lloyd has the ball, and Matthew Lloyd is going to shoot for his 52nd goal of the season.
And as that all happened, Aaron Hamill's just come off the ground, not very happy at all, and Adrian Hickmott replaces him.
Well, Hamill's been stitched up by Sean Wellman, and whilst the delivery hasn't been great, his man has been dominating.
45-degree angle for Matthew Lloyd. Always starting at left. Behind.
Pete, did you find as a gun full forward that if you had missed a week or two that you just lost the ability to kick as accurately as if you were in the groove?
Yeah, it's like all sorts of skills too, Gerard. I think if you're out for a couple of weeks, you just lose it a little bit. I was just wondering which foot it was. Was it his left or was it his right, the ankle? Because if it was his left, I still think you'd be just that little bit ginger on it.
You're a modest man. You never lost it. Very, very modest.
Nelson down towards half. Well, that's a free kick, I would think it is. It'll have to come. No, play on's called the umpire. Well, here's Carosella. Gee, It looked like a Whitnell free kick also. Silvani and Lloyd. Silvani doesn't attempt a mark. He just flicks it backwards and through for a behind. But Whitnell was a bit stiff in that marking contest. What do you think? Well, I thought he definitely grabbed him initially, didn't he?
Craig Bradley. 14 points in it, short to Silvani. And think about Manton or back to Bradley. He chooses the latter. Nelson back to his fellow South Australian. Bradley to Allen, showing great athleticism on the outer side. Maybe Sexton can start them up something here. Down towards the forward line. No mark taken. Jukovic at the back should tidy up. He does. Coming inside to Barry Young. They're able to stream out of defence with considerable ease at the moment. That's got to be a concern for David Parkin and co. Nelson again. A high ball up towards half forward. Wellman stands his ground. In the end, elects to spoil. There's a pigeon having a few problems there, but play goes on. They go streaming down the ground. Fraser started on the bench. The hand pass around the corner. That's going to be okay towards Heffernan. He puts them inside 50 towards Lloyd and Silvani. Isn't it great to watch two class players in action? Lloyd is the victor on this occasion with a memorable goal.
Well, goal to Essendon and great individual effort to Lloyd, but they're just getting pumped across the half-back line, the Blues, or their half-forward line. And the Bombers have got their midfield zoning in defence, a wing and a dropping back. They know exactly what the Blues are going to do. Under pressure, they're going to bomb the ball to centre-half forward. That's what they've been doing at the moment anyhow. And each time the ball goes in there, they're getting outnumbered 3-1.
Gerard Healy hit the nail on the head. They are getting absolutely flogged across half forward. Carlton, they just can't get it past their Essendon defence, killing them. Solomon and Jukovic and Wellman, they're all doing well. That's a free kick to Carasella. A silly free kick given away by Dean Rice. And they're all firing, these Bombers, at the moment. Lloyd kicked a magnificent goal a moment ago.
I reckon we'll see Fraser Brown on pretty soon.
Well, something's got to happen up forward, Sandy, and Gerard suggested Koutafidis. They might have to bite the bullet and do that. There's a lovely kick too. Now, this guy is dangerous when he's got the football. One of the best finishers in the competition. And that's Mark Mercury I'm talking of now. He doesn't elect to kick. For goal, he goes short to Carasella, and his skill level would be as high as any player in the competition. Mercury.
Yeah, he's as good a shot at goal as Mark Mercury. Very, very talented young player, and just emphasises the depth of ability and talent that Kevin Sheedy has at his disposal. He's got 3 or 4 of the best talented players in the competition missing. Most sides would be reeling towards the bottom of the ladder. Kevin Sheedy has them up and running and in control of this match just at the moment.
So Carasella kicking for goal with the siren about the sound. There it is, that now. He's done the sensible thing.
You are a mind reader.
He has gone back. He didn't kick it. Beg your pardon?
You are a mind reader.
Oh, it's amazing. It is amazing what I can come up with, Gerard. But there's Carasella. This is a very, very big kick. Carlton do not want him to kick this one. But Essendon have been brilliant in this quarter. Very, very impressive. Blake Carasella kicks for goal for his first. He's drifted it. He's missed it. And the Carlton supporters and David Parkin and all the players have been breathing a sigh of relief, Gerard.
Yeah, no doubt. The Bombers have got off to a fly. We know that the wind is swirling around out there. Goal kicking is probably as easy as driving at Carnoustie at the present time. But the Bombers are off to a fly and have a pretty handy lead.
I think we better take a break. The margin 21 points here at the MCG. Not quite as windy as Carnoustie, but who knows what could happen later in the afternoon. And quickly, let's go down to the boundary line. What do you think of that first quarter, Aussie? The Bombers looked pretty good.
They did, Sandy. I think Gerard hit it on the head early in the game where the Bombers just put too much pressure on. Carlton really haven't settled into a pattern. They've only got into the forward line once confidently, and a 3.5 goal lead at this stage might mount to a bit more because light rain is starting to fall right now, so a bit of a worry for Carlton.
Okay, thank you, Ozzy. Yes, it has darkened up considerably and is quite overcast. Ratton held it for a long time. Sexton lost it. Mercedes providing some solid tackling in the middle. Down towards Long. He gets shoved out by Nelson. The door opens for McKay. Pokes it high, virtually straight up and down. Taken by Michael Sexton. He floats it across to Murphy. Shepherding sees him clear. Whitnell took out Blumfield. Bradley's under a ton of pressure and then is shoved over the line.
Interesting move, though. Bradley into the forward line. They need his goal-kicking abilities, and Matthew Hogg looks like he's got a job trying to tag Darren Buick. Buick wants to stay with Bradley, so we've got a 2-on-1 scenario. There it is.
So a couple of changes. You've got Hogg on, and Fraser Brown I could see out there on the ball also as well. So David Parkin trying to rev them up and get them back into this first half. Lance Whitnell has the opportunity of closing the gap. He's on a 45-degree angle and just over 50 metres out.
And another change which occurred just before quarter time. McKay's gone on to McCurry, who's been dominating, as has Long, and he has now got Ben Nelson.
Hasn't missed a game this year, Whitnell, and has kicked some 28 goals, but he's away to the right on that occasion. 1-2 plays 4 goals 4.
There's a big responsibility on Whitnell, isn't there, because he really has to fire if Carlton is to win this game.
And it is, you're right, it is a big responsibility. The guy's only 19 years of age.
And he's a young kid, but gee, they rely on him so often, as we see Pryor driving it long. Oh, it's thumped on about 30 metres. Wellman races after it against Manton. Manton, he was looking for Murphy. Great pickup by Murphy. Camporelli went backwards. Might have been better off kicking it. Still Murphy onto the left foot. Brings it back in towards the half-forward line. Barnard went for the big punch. Here's Pryor. Pryor heads for the boundary line. That could almost be construed as deliberate, but he's a fair way from the boundary line, so he would be given the benefit of the doubt.
Well, Justin Murphy went back onto his left-hand leg to bomb the ball, left leg that is, bomb the ball to centre half forward. And if there's one thing that you'd think David Parkin would have said at quarter time, just avoid that position at all costs.
Here's Brown. Bending it back in towards half forward. A good kick, good vision, and a good mark taken by Lappin. The old left-hand leg, eh?
Yes, that just followed a left-footed handball.
Lappin directly in front.
Good gutsy mark by Matthew Lappin.
And they need Brown on the ground, don't they? At those centre bounces, crashing his way through the packs.
Young man from Chiltern. Played 55 games with St Kilda. He's kicked 16 goals this season. Now he's kicked 17. Well, that may be the kickstart that Carlton needs in this second quarter. Lappin gets his first.
Koutafidis has gone back to centre half back on Dean Wallace. In the first term when that occurred, Dean Wallace dragged into full forward. And there we had, therefore, we had Koutafidis going into the middle of the ground. But this is what you said, Sandy, that they needed. They needed a couple of goals early. They've got one. If they can go forward again and score, well, the confidence will start to be rebuilt.
Well, that narrows the margin to 14 points. Now, Brown is in the centre. This is where he's good. He normally crashes his way through packs. Fraser. Now, Brown, free kick to Fraser for holding the man. I don't think he had the ball initially, and then he was grabbed. Fraser drives it wide. He's looking for Alessio. Manton did well, giving away a lot of centimetres. Whitnell's way down there. Well done by Whitnell. That was very clever. On to Murphy. Murphy to Bradley. Back to Murphy. That's a high-class skill, that is. Down to half-forward. Mark is dropped by Barnard. Pryor heads for the boundary line again. Mercedes is there. Jukovic has been excellent. Towards half-forward. No mark. Fraser Brown is already having an influence. Murphy getting plenty of the ball. Drives it to Allen, who marks centre of the ground.
The big man wants to go on with it. To do that, he's got to get around Michael Long. Goes back onto the left foot. Heads down towards half-forward. Still the relentless pressure is on by the Bombers. McCurry short, looking for Blumfield. Not a very good bounce, but Justin Blumfield is able to go back because he's got time. Kick up towards Lloyd, certainly outnumbered, but not out of the contest. Although now Koutafidis comes away. They're out of trouble as Kouta goes wide. Murphy giving chase, and he's going to have to get Alessio. Manton does so. Buick, however, sockers it back towards the 50. Picked up by Wallace. He's still outside 50. He's caught. A cry of ball goes up from the Carlton. Big crowd here at the MCG. The Bomber fans also have the same, but play on, and Wallace does. In towards centre half forward. Off hands to Sexton. Sexton comes wide to Brown. Brown still goes. He's at half back. He's in trouble. Gets it away to Beaumont. Beaumont finally gets clear to Koutafidis. He goes up towards centre wing. Pearce unable to take the mark, but he's going to get a free kick, and the Bombers have got their trouble.
And an Essendon player being carted off the ground, injured. He's been carried off by the trainers. Sandy will pick him up in a second.
Yeah, I think it's Barry Young. He was holding his right knee. So
it is Barry Young.
There he comes.
Oh, let's hope that's not a knee injury.
Check that out for us, Oz, and I'm sure you will, as Johnson replaces him. Young off, Johnson on. He looks in a real lot of trouble, does Barry Young. Whitnell also is in trouble there with that ball. He loses it. Barnard's ripped off it. It's just a tough start now. Solomon, he also lost it. In they go again. This is Fraser. He gets flattened, but he gets his kick. Johnson's just come back out onto the ground. He's got it for the Bombers. They're away up towards the 50. In fact, inside. Look out, where's Matthew Lloyd? Silvani wants the boundary line. Tried to slap it with a fist. Eventually, it ricochets off the boot of Koutafidis, and it's over the line.
Geez, it was rough and tumble down in the Carlton forward line. It looked like a couple of players were just on the verge of having prior opportunity and not disposing of it correctly. But no penalty applied by the umpire.
Well, it's half forward for the Bombers. Allen palming it with the left hand. Here's Mercury against McKay. Oh, well done by Heffernan. He did that very, very well. A quick kick in towards half forward. The mark has been taken by Alessio. He will have to kick it 55 metres. Lloyd's looking for the lead, but it's kicked over the head of Joe Masidi. Here's Koutafidis. He's used his body beautifully. Ratton did well. Silvani also. Now Sexton gets a hurried kick to it out towards the half-back line. A one-on-one contest. Pryor heads for the safety of the boundary line again. But it's still on Essendon's half-forward line. Let's see what happened to Barry Young here. Gerard?
Well, he's been tackled poorly. Oh, the ground shifted and the knee went down badly. That, you know, could be a medial ligament or even a cruciate. That's what the doctor's testing for at the moment.
That's Doc Reed there. He's been around a long time, Dr. Reed.
Tragic for Barry Young in his 123rd game. Let's hope that it's not too serious. 14 points the margin here midway during the second quarter at the MCG. Somerville, Allen, Wallace there in the background as well. Johnson trying to find a little bit of space. Goes round the body. Oh, Silvani's on Lloyd like greased lightning. Fraser Brown. Short to the outer side. Pryor came over the top. Murphy to Camporelli. You're going to have to get rid of it. Murphy was going past again, but couldn't take it. Johnson loses it to Camporelli. She's a hot potato at the moment. You just get the feeling at the moment that anything could happen. The next goal is going to be so important. Pearce comes in over the top. He asks the question. There's a cry of ball, and finally he gets to the answer in the affirmative.
Good second effort there by Bradley Pearce, who dropped the mark, but then he was onto it, and if you dive on the ball and you don't shovel it out, you're going to get pinged every time.
Carlton making a real effort here. They've got the only goal in the second quarter so far.
And no crummers up forward though, Sandy, that's letting them down.
Here's Fraser. Blindly down towards right half forward. Wallace should have tried to tap it on. Unable to get a clear run at it. Mercury, always busy and very, very talented. Jukovic, what's he doing down there in the forward line? Don't tell me he's going to kick a goal. Jukovic from 35 metres. He's going to kick a goal.
Well, they've weathered the storm somewhat, the Bombers, and they've replied with another big one. And Jukovic, a talented player, started deep in defence, and that's where he's returning to. He's run 180 metres to get on the end of this, and he just went straight through the big ones.
Well, there's Barry Young, and let's hope that is not a serious knee injury that we saw earlier. Brilliant goal to Jukovic, and Pearce is coming off the ground, and Aaron Hamill will be coming on. But we also saw the skills of Mercury before involved in that goal. There's a quick kick by Fraser. Taken by Koutafidis. Now this is where they've got problems. Carlton from here on in. Oh, good mark by Lappin. Now let's see what they can do, the Blues. Lappin kicks it up high, hoping someone can take a mark. Whitnell, yes! I think he marked it, yes. Umpires paid it. And the Blues need this one desperately. So Lance Whitnell will kick. Well, it won't be an easy goal because he is only 5 metres in from the boundary line, but a very, very important kick coming up. I need Whitnell to kick 4 or 5 goals. I think he's hooked it, and he has missed. It was not an easy shot.
And Brad Pearce is just getting his right knee checked as well by the club. Doc looks like he's got a bit of lateral soreness where they're looking at this point.
So Barry Young down for the Bombers. Pearce out for the Blues at the minute. Wellman was always going to be his. Sean Wellman at halfback. I think ideally would have liked to have given it away to Buick, but now takes the kick down towards half forward.
Good player.
Beautifully done by Heffernan. Lloyd and Silvani. Lloyd a little toe poke. Oh, he trapped it wonderfully. Then bends it back. This is sensational. In towards Wallace. He's kicked the goal. Wow. Unbelievable from Dean Wallace, who is absolutely wrapped. Great play, though, by Lloyd. Gee, he shows all the skills, Pete, doesn't he?
He certainly does. That was terrific, and against that top quality opposition too.
All right.
Would you claim that one? So Dean Wallace has kicked 2, and he's throwing his weight round down there as he always does. But that's a handy little lead to the Bombers. Allen. Now Murphy, they ought to be starting to kick it instead of wanting a handball all the time. Sexton in towards full forward. Again, they're beaten to it, this time by Pryor. Pryor to Wellman, but gee, that forward line is not performing down there for the Blues. But full credit to Essendon. Long, beautiful kick, finds Johnson. Johnson gives it to the running Buick. The Bombers look good. Look at that kick. Great kick to Lloyd. A tremendous lead and a daisy-cutting kick, and even the great fullback Silvani couldn't get there.
That was a great transition of play from defence. The Blues are really letting themselves down by not just keeping the ball in their forward 50. No one's making a contest. No one's taking a grab. And the ball coming out so easily that it's putting too much pressure on the defensive players for Carlton. And, well, that is just sensational delivery.
So Matthew Lloyd has kicked 1. It was a brilliant snap as he contested against Silvani and got up and snapped it through on the right foot. But a big kick coming up. He's got to kick it from outside 50, and it'll take a big long kick from there. It's starting to hold up. It won't quite make the distance. That's a beautiful mark taken by Matthew Allen, who is in terrific form.
One of the best big men in the competition at the moment, Allen. But this is very, very dangerous. Camberelli may get him out of trouble. He does. Scotty's away. Up towards centre wing. The flyer was Solomon. Couldn't take the mark. Michael Pryor towards the line. We've got another throw in. On centre wing here at the MCG in front of a big crowd. There's Somerville coming in to contest. Whitnell will do the work for the Blues and wins it with the left hand. Brown down. Up towards left half forward. Pryor again. Close to the line. Somehow kept it in play. Johnson did very well. Off to the speeds to Michael Long. They won't catch him this time. Gives it back to Heffernan. They're inside 50 once again. Out comes Wallace steaming, but it's a cruel bounce. Good one for Michael Sexton. But he heads to the outer side. Murphy didn't take the mark and has given away the free kick. Alessio is going to have a shot, 45-degree angle,
Well,
just over 50 metres out.
Sexton should have come back. He didn't look. He should have come back this side. He had 2 loose Carlton players.
Yep. Instead, Alessio has the chance to kick his first goal. Been pretty good this year. He hasn't missed a game. And the Bombers have turned over a few players. In fact, they've got only 4 that have played every game. Alessio's one of them. Good mark in front of the pack to Glenn Manton. Oh, you're off, Glenn.
He was lucky.
A couple of the great actors there in Manton and Wallace, but Glenn, you were away. Have a look at this. Up he gets, and there's the hand pass attempt. Gee. On half-back. Whitnell to Bradley. Unceremoniously dumped, but not before he gets his kick into the middle. There's a sea of red and black, though, and they're swarming again. Michael Pryor comes charging down the middle, kicks to half forward. The danger signs are there again. He's in the square. Wallace says thank you very much, and he's kicked his third.
Well, it's falling apart here for the Blues. Craig Bradley coming from the ground. No one was ready to interchange with him. And, well, another errant disposal going forward out of defence. And it has turned around into a pretty ugly turnover and an easy goal to the Bombers.
Well, there's a rare occurrence. You don't see that too often. Craig Bradley being replaced, and he's speaking on the phone to David Parkin, and so obviously David Parker's not too happy with something in his play, and he's not too agitated. There's Colin Kinnear up the back, Barry Richardson, former great Tiger fullback, on the left, but they're in trouble, the Blues.
I wonder if that was the case, Pete, or whether Craig took himself off just to talk to the coach.
Yeah, you got Gerard, you got it right
possibly
there.
happen.
He did call himself off. He said just for 5 minutes. He has got on the phone to David Parkin.
He might have a few suggestions. Oh, that's over the shoulder. It would have to be.
Well, I think sometimes, Pete, the players out in the ground know more about what is going on than the coach, and well, why not do that? It's a great idea, and well done to Craig.
Yes, I agree with you, Gerard. If that is the case, well, that is terrific. Now there's Lappin marking at half forward.
Yeah, Craig Bradley's coming back on now for Matthew Hogg.
So Matthew Hogg off, Bradley on. Thanks, Aussie, as the ball will be kicked. Well, it's come down. It's still way out at half forward with Lappin. Lappin drives it low. Beaumont over the neck. It must be a Beaumont free kick against Jukovic. And a good umpiring decision. Yeah, oh, right round the neck. No doubt about that one. So it is a difficult kick for a left footer on that side of the ground. Beaumont's had a pretty good season. He's not really noted as a goal kicker, but this would really lift their spirits if he could kick this one. Now let's see if he hooks it like some left footers do. I think he's missed it. He's missed it to the left. So they're being forced wide too, Gerard, because they're just being beaten in most positions up forward.
Yeah, the pressure through the middle and out of their defensive area has been pretty good from the Bombers, and they're making them kick errantly. They're not finding space, not finding the leading players up forward, and they're just struggling at the moment all over the ground.
3 goals to 1 so far this quarter in favour of the Bombers. We've got a throw in right half forward. We might have a little bit of an injury. Barnard came off second best in that counter with Brown, and also young Simon Fletcher making his debut.
Centre clearances are 9-2 in favour of the Bombers.
Getting very dark over at the MCG. Beaumont another crack in towards goal. That's a goal. That is a Lappin goal, or is it a free kick? It is a free kick, and Lappin, he was so disappointed. He ran down. He certainly kicked it. Look at this, off his boot.
Excuse me, where's the free kick there? Goodness,
I didn't see it, but this is where you need someone like John Russo keeping a close eye on.
Well, I'll tell you what, in the old days, John Russo, he didn't miss them like that, I'll tell you.
You must be doing the umpire's ball again this year, Pete. We wish you well. Wellman towards, should be a marvellous affair too. Wellman towards the centre wing, and it's over the line. Let's have another look and see seriously if we can pick up a free kick.
Yeah, they're both just pushing. Look at that, pushing. That's man on man. That is a dreadful free kick. Do you agree, Gerard?
Oh, totally, Pete. You're going to be busy, though. You've got the Hawthorn Footy Club and the Collingwood Footy Club balls, and now the umpire's ball.
And the recording industry ball. You forgot?
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's on centre wing. Allen, well, he stood his ground. Murphy, hand pass chopped off by Buick, causing another throw in on centre wing. Main goal scorers in this game so far. Dean Wallace is the leading goal kicker on the ground. He has 3. Barry Young is nursing an injured right knee on the sidelines. Singles then to Jukovic, McCurry, Solomon and Matthew Lloyd for the Bombers. Different story for the Blues. Lappin and Camporelli into left half forward and taken over, seen over, escorted almost by Silvani. This is Hickmott just warming up, so he could be getting ready to come on for a run. Andrew, who played some 50 games with the Cats, now finding a new home at Optus Oval. Andrew Hickmott, better known as Adrian to his friends. Mark on centre wing. Bradley takes it from Hamill, kicks down towards half forward. Whitnell, wide open space here. The lead is on. The pass, well, beautifully picked up on the half volley, and I thought Beaumont just about copped one where he shouldn't have there. Lappin didn't have a goal allowed a moment ago. He might have another shot. No, he gives it back to Beaumont onto the left foot. They desperately need this, but he's pushed it across the face and through for one behind. Good half volley pickup, and that right arm pretty well held. Oof. And just got his head out of the way in time.
Now Michael Pryor drives it to half back to Wellman. That's a lovely mark. He plucked it down quickly so as it couldn't be punched out of his hands. He's been a fine player for Essendon the last few years since coming from Adelaide Crows, and that's a great mark too by little Gary Moorcroft. Terrific play. Blumfield down towards half forward. Lloyd over the back. Well, it's it for him. He couldn't quite pick it up. It's just slipped over a little bit. Long. Silvani's in there after it. And Rice. Well, Rice hooks it in. Got to be careful when you do that. And Michael Long's having plenty to say, as is Matthew Lloyd. Michael Long said he copped one high. So a bounce again in that dangerous forward area, because Essendon have many goaling players down there. Given away by Somerville to Long. Long chips it goal. Oh, started to bounce towards the goals and just bounced through for a behind.
I think he's still a bit concerned about his noggin. 2-5 plays 7-5. Under 5 minutes left in this first half. Critical 5 minutes for Carlton. They cannot afford to let the Bombers sneak further clear. McKay from Brown. Up towards centre. Oh, Wellman in from the side. Oh. A big fly. No mark. Lappin trying to get into it. Hooks it round the body. Up towards half forward, but onto the chest of Steve Alessio. Put a little bit of pressure on Masiti. They'll combine to find Jukovic, however. Almost in the centre of the ground. Kicks it over the top of Somerville's back in towards Heffernan, who marks at half forward. Moorcroft is screaming for it. Blumfield is there as well, and he's got it.
Well, there's just been too many loose players for the Bombers across that half forward line. They're relying upon turnovers in the defensive area, and they're pushing forward. And the Blues just in disarray somewhat at the moment.
Justin Blumfield hasn't missed a game this year. This young man from Tuggeranong. Kicks from 35 metres. And kicks truly. Goal number 1 to Justin Blumfield. His 9th for the season.
They've got so many young, good players here, the Bombers. The future is well and truly rosy. The long-term future and the short-term future. And they're all here on display this afternoon and doing a very good job at the moment, including Justin Blumfield.
Well, they're doing it on the bit at the moment. Somerville off and Carousel coming on, but 6-goal margin to Essendon. Gee, they're impressive. There's Allen getting nearly every hit out, but they're not getting it out of the centre. Manton, scooped away there by Alessio. Bradley is there. Now Beaumont. Now this is better. Beaumont has got a running player here in Brown. He needs it to sit for him. He does. Over the top is Ratton. Ratton's trying to bend it back. He's looking here for Sexton. He's got it. Can Michael Sexton kick a goal on the left? He bends it back. Oh, is that a free kick? I don't think it is. It's a goal. Great goal to Sexton, running down from half-back.
Once again, a created goal coming from nowhere. Good win in the midfield. Brown set them up nicely just here. Gets the ball onto Ratton, and Sexton, just excellent running by Michael Sexton, who started the season slowly, got himself into a bit of a hole, but he's worked very hard in recent times to produce some good form. Playing from the wing.
Margin 30 points. Dean Rice has a spell. Another couple before half-time would bring them right back into calculation, the Navy Blues. Murphy on the end of it. Long kick up towards half-forward. Out comes a big pack of players. Who's doing the scouting for the Blues? No one at home at the moment. McKay's got to give chase, but he's got to beat a number of them. Here's McCurry coming back beautifully and finding Darren Buick. Now in the veteran class is Buick. Played over 200 games, 211 in fact it is today. Up towards left half forward. Long is at the back. Lloyd, it comes to Lloyd. Centering kick in towards half forward. It's a good looking kick. It's an even better mark by the mercurial Moorcroft. That is sensational.
Well, they've isolated Moorcroft at full forward purely and simply because they know he can take a mark, and he's kicked it on quickly, and he's kicked a goal.
Oh, that ball hit the ground too, I think.
Just having a look at the stats for marks inside 50, and often that just is a reflection of the scoreboard. Essendon have marked 8 times. And there's the cheeky Gary Moorcroft, and they don't get much cheekier than him.
I wonder whether he was trying to pop it over to Smokin' Joe. It mattered not because he kicked it straight, but well, it was a wonderful grab, perhaps a questionable mark as Barry Young just tests out that knee. 9-5 plays 3-5. We're back to a 36-point break.
Blues have marked it just twice in their forward 50.
Yeah, it's having all sorts of problems with that strong Essendon defence. Here's Murphy, who's working particularly hard. He's looking for Andrew McKay, who's also working hard. But I really think that, I know the Carlton hierarchy will argue against us, but I really think that they are a slow side, Carlton, and they get found out against quick running sides that can move the ball. They're slow in leg speed, not in the thinking area of the game, just in the leg speed. They've got a lot of players who struggle when the ball's in the open spaces, so they have to keep control of the football. Now here's one of them, Ratton, getting across to Camporelli. Camporelli into the pocket. Now let's see what Beaumont can do this time. He's a left footer, and I suggest he should try and sneak out a bit here and open up the goals.
Getting the ball in their forward line enough though, Pete. They just haven't got any system up there, and it's breaking down because they haven't got the tall players to mark the football or bring it in with the precision. And the stats back it up. It's Carlton 13 to Essendon 14 going inside 50.
They need a goal, and they need it now from Beaumont. Oh, he's threaded that one through the middle. Great kick.
First goal to Simon Beaumont, the 3rd for the Blues in this term. His 12th for the season, and he hasn't missed a game, Simon Beaumont.
What they need is to get a couple of consecutive goals. It's what they haven't been able to do all afternoon. And they need the likes of Camporelli to get some football inside their forward 50. Justin Murphy's had a stack of the ball, over 20 possessions in a half. But many of those have been from centre back, as most of their midfielders have been doing. He's had 14 possessions this quarter, Murphy. His work rate's fantastic, but can't get the ball up forward where he's so creative.
Back to a 30-point margin. Bradley can't get a touch. Buick's kick pretty well smothered. Some heavy work going on in there, but players allowed to go on. They've tapped it down towards half forward, and Buick followed it a long way down. It is held to Nelson. and there'll be a ball up on half forward for the Bombers.
Now they've isolated Michael Long at full forward up against Matthew Hogg.
They've got a minute, both of these sides, to score in this half. Hamill, Bradley. He heads to the open spaces on the outer side, perhaps a little bit of relief. And it's just kept in play for the Bombers by Judd Lalich, but only for a moment. Lalich started as an interchange player, starting out in his career, game number 7, as Dean Rice again warms up on the sidelines. Fraser and Camberelli. Fraser did well. He wanted that ball very badly, and it showed. Kicks towards right half forward. Time is ticking away. They're going to need a mark or something extraordinary. They can do it with Lloyd. They can do it with Lloyd. Yes, sirree. Lloyd has got his second. And a big quarter now for the Bombers has unfolded. A 6-goal quarter, and they've kept the Blues to just 3.
Yeah, they've beaten them in almost every position. It's going to take some critical moves and changes for Carlton to get back into this match after the half-time break. Matthew Lloyd, well, he's come back from injury as if he hasn't been missing.
Inside the last 30 seconds of this first half, they win it out in the middle once again, down towards half forward, slap to Moorcroft. They might get another one. Moorcroft from 48 metres has kicked it. Oh, that was too easy. That was too easy. Moorcroft, Gary has his second. And things are not looking good for the Blues.
I think that's painting a rosy picture of it just at the moment, Sandals, because that was just, as you said, a walk in the park for the Bombers. They just cruised that ball through the middle of their centre area, won the tap out. Gary Moorcroft kicks his second in about 5 minutes.
And they just club it down towards the 50 with 3 or 4 players getting a hand to it, and then Moorcroft was able to shoot clear. Blues are saying, please blow the siren. Give us half time, a chance to maybe regroup and come back in the second half. McKay gets his skates on, giving chase to Johnson. Johnson's too quick. Essendon has been too quick in this first half. In particular, a big second quarter where they booted 7 goals. At half time they lead 11-5 to 4 goals 5, and it gives David Parkin plenty to think about at the long break. This veteran coach, who's been one of the masters of the game, is having a real test of wit against Kevin Sheedy here at the MCG this afternoon. Thanks, Ozzy. Just watching Brad Pearce limp from the ground. Both knees strapped. That's disappointing for him. There's Lloyd and Wallace. There is the Pearce taking his seat on the bench. Hogg next to him as we go into the second half. Bombers in a commanding position, but as we know, footy's a funny old game as Fraser Brown tries to rip it out of the centre. Needs support and gets it. If they can get the first couple, who knows what can happen. Kick comes wide towards Lappin. He's on left half forward. He does well to keep it in play. He's still going. He's got it inside 50. Lappin goes once more. Now pushes to Beaumont, who needs assistance. Brown may give it to him. Fraser delightfully through. Back to Beaumont. Tucked on a tight angle. Oh, he's bent that back in a very game attempt, but it is out of bounds in the right forward pocket. Throw in. The old check side wasn't quite working as he would have liked. Whitnell using the body, plucks it out of there, or at least tried to. Another ball up with umpire Jamie Love. Paul Barnard stretching out on the sidelines. Bright sunshine. Now at the MCG, had a bit of everything today. Whitnell to Brown. Hickmott. Adrian's kick is high. It's going to be darn close. I think that's a goal. And it's a behind. Hickmott's first score since coming onto the ground. 4-6, plays 11-5. Speaking of sharpshooters, here is one, Peter McKenna.
So Michael Pryor has been one of those strong defenders. Their backline has been absolutely sensational today. There's another one of them, Wellman. That's a clever kick. Courage was needed by Mercedes. He had plenty of it. Solomon's been very impressive on that back line. Oh, he can still go. He could have had another bounce, but he brings it to the top of the square, hoping Dean Wallace can take a mark. Is it a mark? It is. Oh, Dean Wallace. And look, I don't know whether that ball actually did hit the ground there somewhere. Let's have a look at it, Gerard.
No, I think he got it, Pete, all the way down.
Have a look.
Almost fell on his arms at the bottom, and then on the third attempt, he grabbed it.
Well, it's been paid. Manton didn't seem to think it was a mark, but nevertheless.
You're not convinced?
He will kick for 20. Now, what a surprise packet. We said earlier in the game, if he could kick 4 or 5 goals, what a bonus that would be. He's really made a presence up at centre-half forward, kicking for his 4th. Better known as a full-back in his early days, actually on the wing. Now, there's the kick. 4 goals to Dean Wallace.
Yes, and it just goes to show the value of hoarding away people that can play in key positions. We look towards the Navy Blues, and they are struggling to find somebody to mark the ball on the forward line. But Kevin Sheedy has brought this fellow back from seemingly retirement that was pending. And he's got Alessio and Heffernan and Wallace now, and Lucas and Hurd and Sumwell, Alessio again. He hoards them like you hoarded platinum records, Pete.
4 goals to Dean Wallace. He crawled to a century of games, but he's sprinting today, going very well. Alessio down towards half forward. Bradley overruns it, goes again, ducks into a tackle, and no option but to have a bounce at half forward for the Bombers. 12-5, plays 4-6. Imagine the Blues hierarchy would be bitterly disappointed with that first half. Bradley goes again. Alessio, the big man, continues to give chase. Bradley got the call, but the hand pass not far enough. Mercedes gives it away. Johnson under pressure, but he gets the kick back to Alessio, and the big man's got it outside 50. An interesting little left footer almost takes the head of the umpire. Don't you catch it, man in white. You just leave it. You've had enough of that. McCurry to half forward. Good kick. Carasella, good mark.
Well, he never wastes a kick, Gerard, does he, Mark McCurry?
No, it's a good combination, though, isn't it? McCurry to Carasella, who is superbly skilled. He's a great mark and an excellent kick.
16 goals to his name so far this season. Not always the most accurate. 16 goals, 13. Game number 49 for this young man, so a milestone hopefully look for him next week. And a milestone there because he's kicked a goal. Another nail goes in the Carlton coffin.
Yes, it's a real pumping, isn't it, at the President's Highs, and we can just hope that Carlton can find something to make it just a little bit competitive. Because at the moment it's just all Essendon. They are winning in almost every position on the ground, and I guess just once again reminding us all that no matter what player they have on the injury list, they are still going to be a most competitive side. And how David Parkin would like just 1 or 2 of their forwards.
And the other thing too, Gerard, is they've already come into this game, got a healthy percentage of over 117%. This is only going to add to that.
They're going to figure very, very prominently in the finals. Here's McCurry, the brilliant McCurry. Look at that hand pass to Blumfield. And they go forward again on the left foot. That's Johnson. Lelich, in fact, it was.
Oh,
There
yes.
was Moorcroft. And Moorcroft, well, he does the unpredictable, and that was a beautiful mark by the little redhead. And have a look at this, Gerard.
If that hasn't got Cadbury written over it, I'll go he.
Oh, there was more than a glass and a half in that moment.
Oh.
That was an absolute corker.
He jumped it. There wasn't much spring from the shoulder. It was all leap.
Well, Gary Moorcroft, well, See a lot of it. He's got a great spring for a little fella. He stabs at this eye. He's missed it. He still has.
He'll get another kick.
Get another kick.
Well,
And down in the square.
50 metres. Oh, the umpire said that Nelson ran over the mark. Well, that's interesting. So he'll certainly get a goal now. So this is really, the Carlton Blues are getting obliterated here. As Moorcroft will just tap it through for a goal.
Well, we're finding it very difficult to get a positive here for the Blues, but there's plenty for the Bombers. And here he is, Gary Moorcroft. This kid has been a positive all season for the Bombers. And Johnson trying to impact on Justin Murphy, getting inside the brain there. Because Murphy's been a big possession getter for the Blues. Well done, Moorcroft.
89 plays 30. This has the makings of a rout. Can the Blues stop it? In the middle, Allen, a big charge at the ball, wins it hands down. Palmy with the left hand, but they can't take it out of the middle. Alessio, the big man, did well to control it. They try and lock it up. Blumfield comes in over the top of Brown. He's going nowhere, and we'll have another bounce.
Justin Murphy to full forward. Beaumont has pushed out to the half-forward line.
Gee, there have been a number of quiet performers in this Carlton lineup. Look down the stats to half-time. They'd be bitterly disappointed. Here's the Fraser hand pass. Out wide, but stolen by Camporelli. Flicks it round the body. It's a cool bounce for Bradley. Better one for Blumfield. Can't get away, though. Good tackle. Ball spills free. Lalich tries to soccer off the ground. He was almost written into the ground.
Yes, and Michael Long has taken a position on the bench. I'm sure Kevin Shooty knows he's got the game well and truly in hand, and he's resting the veteran.
Tackle too high. It's again going the way of Essendon to be taken by Lloyd. Silvani infringing outside 50. Lloyd has kicked 2 goals, one in the first, one in the second. Way too far out to score. He just chips short to Buick. Well, he won't score. He's 80 metres away. But he'll put it down into the attacking zone. Going into the sun. Here's Buick. Drifting into the shadows. The kick's got to be good. And good interception by Silvani. Around he comes to Manton on halfback. Manton goes short to Rat. He drifts it in towards the centre. Scoring has become very, very difficult. Hamill to the run wide of Massey. The youngster goes long and low towards Lappin, and he takes the mark just inside 50. Going to be kicking from just outside 50, but an angle that shouldn't be a problem. Distance may test him. Fine, Pete. Lappin kicked a goal in the second quarter.
Might be John Elliott ringing to see if he could pull the boots on Pete.
Well, he's made the distance, but he's away to the right, one behind.
Tell you what, he nearly get a game out there today. They have been very, very ordinary. Carlton, they have many good players at all. There's Peter Somerville having a bit of a spell on the bench, so they've got plenty of height. Little Alessio and Somerville go into that first ruck. But when you think that Fletcher's out, Lucas is out, Hurd's out, Hardwick's out, and they'd all be walk-up starts when they were 100%. Here's the big thump as the ball goes into that shadow towards the boundary line. Knocked back by Camporelli towards the Beaumont. Solomon has been a very impressive player, and eventually he forces the ball over the line. So it's just outside 50 for Carlton, but their forward line just has not fired at all.
I went for the Blues today on the basis of the omissions, and I think sometimes that's a major blue because you underestimate those guys that are still in the side.
Well, they've got a terrific list, Essendon. As
Here's a go.
Here's a chance on the left foot and hooking it back before the Blues was lapping, and he has missed.
They've got a lot of young players that are building reputations as we speak, and I mean, Blumfield is one who's been around for a few years, but just starting to play week in, week out. Carousella we've spoken of a lot. The two Johnsons are both terrific contributors, and Gary Moorcroft just keeps getting better and better with each game.
Well, it's interesting. There's something like 10 or 11 of these players that have played under 50 games for the Bombers. They talk about Geelong having problems with their young players. Nothing wrong with the Bombers. Here's Buick at the back. Buick's away. Shoots towards goal. Bang! There's another one. Pump them up, they say.
Yeah, Boris is a sharpshooter around the goals. The Bombers are on fire, coming straight out of defence and down the middle of the ground. That one didn't go to a marking tall forward, as Big Smoking Joe just lurches forward or lopes forward. And you'll see Darren Buick just floating into the right position and doing what he does well. He's a magnificent finisher, upsetting a couple of seagulls along the way.
Well, we just saw there, as we see Kevin Sheep, we just saw there what Carlton lack, and that's a goal-kicking crummer, and that's what Buick's able to do, to scout around when the forwards contest and the ball comes over the back. He can race in and kick a goal. So it looks like Koutoufides, Gerard, has gone full forward for the Blues. Well, they've just struggled so much down there. They had to try something. And it looks like Lalich is going down now to pick him up. Ratton. Sexton's tried very hard. He's probably been Carlton's best player. On to Murphy. Murphy will drive it long. Tried to hook it back, but blazes it over the fence and out of bounds on the full. And you can see the look of disappointment on his face.
Pete, I'm just looking at percentage. The Kangaroos, who of course were successful last night, have a percentage of 113.9. There's a fine grab.
Great mark to Beaumont.
West Coast, playing later today, have the best percentage in the competition at the moment of 131.1. But the way the Bombers are going, they're going to close that gap considerably as McKay goes short in towards the 50. And once again, the mark is taken by Lappin. Lappin chips in towards half forward. They're getting there ever so slowly, but they are getting there. And Koutoufides, now up forward, will have a shot at goal. So that percentage could prove all important as far as Essendon is concerned, if they are looking at a top 1 or 2 finish at the end of the home and away.
Well, they must have been agonising in the Carlton box, Pete, as to whether they shift Kouta forward or not, because we know he can play up forward, as they do, obviously, but he's been such a great player at centre-half back for them all season. They'd be reticent to shift it.
Has kicked 6 goals this season. 6 goals 2 come into this game, now 6 goals 3. 4-9 plays 15-5, a 6 scoreboard here at the MCG. Michael Pryor to bring it back into play. As round 16 continues to unfold, Wellman, one of the flyers, Lance Whitnell, claimed by Carousella. Johnson towards the line. Massey's got him, but he's given away the free kick, so Johnson's away, giving them plenty of spark. He looks up towards half forward. Manton and Wallace. Manton shrugs at one tackle. The hand pass almost a little too quick for Bradley. He's ripped off the football, going to get a free kick. Little test of strength going on between a couple, Moorcroft and McKay. The umpire has insisted that the ball comes back and we'll start again with Craig Bradley.
Well, possessions won inside the forward 50s gives an interesting comparison. Carlton's won 9 possessions and kicked 4 behinds. Essendon have won 4 possessions, all kicks inside their forward 50, and have kicked 4 goals.
Well, here's Craig Bradley racing away from half back, trying to get some sort of a system into their game, the Blues. Adrian Hickmott bending it back towards the half-forward line, taken away by Pryor. Finds Jukovic, he's an exciting young player, dodging and weaving, then gets it to Pryor. Now Wellman, there's a rocket Gibraltar down there, he brings it in towards the half-forward line. Johnson's an exciting player. Here he goes, Johnson. He'll race towards goal, bring it in towards that half-forward area, but a strong mark taken by Ben. Oh, he thought about going, Ben Nelson. He can transfer both 50 metres. I think Moorcroft went 1 millimetre over the mark. But it's 50. Let's see what happened. I think he thought Nelson was going to play on. Now, where's Moorcroft? Oh, you know, he was given 50 for that. Believe it or not. Centre wing. Pryor. Oh, that is a terrific mark by Blumfield. He's got very, very strong hands.
He's on centre wing and did it against quality opposition there in Michael Sexton. Kicks towards half forward. And there's another one by Dean Solomon. Solomon still outside 50, but he's got a player loose inside 50. Moorcroft, he could have almost been free kick then. Blumfield comes in for the assist, gives it away to his teammate who's under the pump. And we will see a free kick going Carlton's way, to be taken by Fraser Brown. Brown at half back. Well, he gives away a little ground to Silvani, hoping to set something up. Silvani's away to the outer side, coming out of the shadows, going into bright sunshine. Allen up towards centre wing. Whitnell. They were 4-5 at half-time. They're 4-9 now, Carlton, so just 4 behind. Beaumont, can he turn something around here? Oh. Sweeps the hand pass. Hamill, 30 metres out, should goal for Carlton, and has missed. Has missed. Therein tells the story of the day for the Blues. 4-10, and we're not talking about a shotgun. The Bombers are 15-5.
Well, it is not the Blues' day. That was a gimme goal from there as Jukovic receives the kick in. And, well, he just shouldn't have missed it from there, but he did. Wellman marks at half-back. His back line has been sensational. Here's Johnson. Jason Johnson, this is. In towards half-forward. And forced over the line. In fact, not Jason Johnson. I said the wrong Johnson. That's Mark Johnson. Right in front of the Melbourne members is Blake Carosella on screen. Terrific performance this by the Bombers. Very, very impressive. Just let's hope that Barry Young hasn't got a serious knee injury out of it. That would be a cruel blow for him. Here's Moorcroft, who's a dangerous little half-forward. Hamill, who missed that goal a moment ago, gives it off to Allen, who's still working hard. Oh, but what a poor kick. Straight to Curing. Just nothing happening. But that's just a real skill error.
Mark McCurry, 9 kicks, 6 hand passes, 5 marks to right half forward. Silvani at the back, lopes around now, goes short to Captain Bradley. Pumps it back to Ratton, who's almost down to the middle. Ratton heads towards half forward. A lot of players in one half of the ground. Beaumont got some wide open space in front of him. Nelson's drifted a long way down. He could be the player to target. In fact, he is. Fraser Brown, too, has drifted inside 50. You know, he can play on here, Fraser, and he should goal for Carlton this time. Can you believe it? He has missed.
Hit the post.
At least they're bringing the ball into the forward line with some sort of system. Well, that's. I think we'll find Peter Lance Whitnell plays a little bit better in this half if they continue to keep Koutafidis down there, just to spread the load a bit, the responsibility.
Oh, poor kick in lets the Blues in. Here's Hickmott looking for Murphy. Murphy almost threw it away. Masidi in after it. And Hickmott tried to get it out also, but the umpire will bounce.
6 behinds to 4 straight goals to Essendon.
Well, the value of straight kicking, and Essendon have looked very, very deliberate when they've gone forward. The Blues, it's just not their day. They haven't got many good players out there. There's a number of them trying hard, but Essendon have got them well and truly covered, and they've worked particularly hard. There's Mercury has been, well, his normal brilliant best. As I just look for his name on the stat sheet. Where is he there, Sandy? He had 10 kicks, 6 handballs, 5 marks, and was kicked a goal and been responsible for a few.
Carlton again with a chance through Lappin, bends it back. This looks more promising. Mark taken right on the line by Camporelli. Jukovic complaining. Camporelli should go back and kick the goal. This is still having plenty to say.
Is that the right angle he should have gone on there?
I think if John Russo was looking at that at the moment, he'd have a bit of a grin on his face.
He shouldn't have gone on that angle, surely. I know you take a straight line to the centre from where you mark it, but
from the hypothesis.
There's the kick. He's kicked the goal.
So that is the second goal to Camporelli. He kicked one in the first term. And it finally breaks that run of behinds by the Blues.
Well, in terms of inside 50, the Navy Blues have been far better in this term, but in terms of on the scoreboard, Carlton have still won.
I would have thought he'd be almost just about in front, having taken that mark there, but lucky do.
Well, that mark was taken 5 metres out.
Pete, well, we won't worry about it. It's happened, and we've got to go on.
Well, back to the centre anyway.
You get a bee in your bonnet.
Murphy will drive it long, right down to a one-on-one contest. Koutafidis and Lalich. Now Whitnell. He hooks it back. Jukovic is there. He sockets it off the ground towards the half-back line. This is Heffernan. Oh, great kick, Heffernan. This is danger because Mercury on the breakaway. Oh, he's going to run around here. He won't waste the ball. What's this? Bang! It's a man on the chest every time with Mark Mercury. Solomon he's got. He's been excellent. Solomon drives it with a wobbly kick up towards the square. Oh, is this a goal? No, push out. Silvani's kick, I would think. Or is it Sexton's? It's one of the two. I think it's Silvani, yes. Penalty kick, and he has to go back and have his kick again.
Well, it was Steve Silvani that just got the knee of Wallace in the jaw.
So this time he comes towards Fraser Brown, who got a hand to it, and he was got a copped a shove as well. Umpire said he could take a free kick in the back pocket. Just over 4 minutes remaining in a quarter that again has seen Essendon hold sway. Steve Alessio on right half forward. Goes back towards Lloyd territory. Silvani belts it down in front of Brown. Well, this loss would certainly shatter Carlton's finals aspirations. At the moment, they're sitting in 9th spot, but only on percentage. Sydney, of course, playing this afternoon. It's a good mark taken by Mercury. But their percentage is going to take a battering. It's 97.4 at the moment. It could drop down, depending what happens in the next quarter or so, to around 90. That's not good enough. Mercury a long way from home. Not going for distance, just centering into a big pack of players. Alessio was there. The big man has got it. Look at that. Straight into the woodwork. It's catching.
Good bit of play, though, by Steve Alessio. Fantastic display of skills. Mark Mercury gave him the nod, said he was going to drop it up into the hole.
Well, he's very mobile for a big man, Steve Alessio. He's, oh, Silvani! Oh, goodness me. That is a dreadful kick. Chipping in is Mercury, who's ever alert, and this brilliant player will kick the goal from about 40 metres. Look at this. Gerard, you're not saying anything. You are nonplussed.
I'm just looking at the flags.
Well, here's the kick from Mark Mercury. He doesn't miss, right through the middle.
And what have the flags told you, Gerard?
Well, the flags indicate that the wind has actually changed. And perhaps that was an excuse for Sauce.
Mark McCurry gets his second goal. Both have come from that end of the ground. He kicked one in the first term. They're rolling on now, this bomber machine. Very accurate in front of goal. 16 goals, 6, 102. Carlton a 5-11, 41. And we've still got a few more minutes before three-quarter time as Ratton takes it out of the middle for the Blues. Back into the sunlight once again. It didn't deter Sean Wellman. He pushes wide towards the boundary line. Beaumont keeps it in, the floating hand pass to accommodate Lance Whitnell just outside 50. Lappin at the back gave a bit of a nudge. He couldn't take the mark, but he's quick to recover. Turns his opponent inside out and then snaps for a use. You've got it, another behind.
Well, he had his opportunity. He got the right position, nudged the opponent out. Michael Pryor's just copying a face full of fingers there, but he dropped the mark. And Pryor has been a very good player, picking up many possessions.
Jukovic makes a few metres. Good looking kick to the outer side. A bit of pushing and shoving going on. The back was Lance Whitnell to take it. Quickly away to Bradley. Craig Bradley chips them inside 50. Beaumont will have a shot. Under 2 minutes remaining. 1 goal, 7. Carlton has added for this quarter. The left foot of Beaumont from 49 metres. 1 goal, 8 for the quarter. 5-13. Essendon 16-6, of which Dean Wallace has got 4. Gary Moorcroft has 3. Jukovic brings it back. Beaumont, that's a fine diving mark. Read it well. He's 75 metres out. That's a horrendous kick. He must have been watching Sauce at the other end just for a moment. And McCurry, well, he's the same player that Sauce found.
It's got a lot to do with his alertness too, the way he can read what players are going to do, and he chips across, but it was still a poor kick.
Johnson. I'm going to tell the boys this is almost three-quarter time, not the end of the game. McCurry picks up another possession, going towards the outer side. Johnson turned inside out by Murphy, and he'll take it forward of centre.
And Dustin Murphy is a very, very long kick. There's no one there at the moment. Now he's going for Whitnell, but Whitnell's surrounded by tall Essendon players. Wellman was one of them. Now here's a Fraser Brown kicked it in mid-air. That'll be a Mark McCurry. The ball is following Mark McCurry at the moment. Now he's going to chip it across the goal because he's got loose men everywhere. One of them is Jukovic, who really is an exciting player to watch. He drives to a contest here, 2-on-2 contest, or nearly a brilliant mark down there by Heffernan. Then he knocks it on to Carosella, close to the boundary line. In fact, Carosella kept it in. Cleverly done, Heffernan. Was that in? No, it's out. So the boundary umpire will throw it in.
Big mark here to Chris Heffernan. Talented player, another one of the bunch that we've spoken a lot of. Mark McCurry, just for you, Pete, 9 possessions in that quarter, including 7 marks.
A brilliant game to McCurry, and there's the siren to end the third term, where once again Essendon showed their superiority. They're leading 16-6, Gerard to 5-13. A very, very impressive performance.
But just on McCurry, he did have the advantage because both sides were kicking into him.
Is there light at the tunnel for Carlton? That is the question, Gerard.
Well, not today, certainly. Sandy, what's been disappointing is that they've been able to beat up on the sides below them on the ladder, but when it's come to matching it against the sides above them, it's only been West Coast away was a tremendous victory, and the Western Bulldogs very early in the piece, about round 3 or 4, when the Bulldogs were going through a poor spell.
$59 points the margin as we go into the final quarter here at the MCG. An excellent crowd, but many will be very disappointed as Camporelli whips Carlton down towards the half-forward line. Whitnell couldn't take it. Lappin pounces upon it, spears the pass in towards full forward. That's better to Koutafidis, and he marks 30 metres out directly in front.
maybe they decide between now and the end of the season that having Cooter at centre-half back is a luxury they just can't afford. And they've got to look to the future. Maybe Cooter Feedy's at full forward, interchanging at centre-half forward with Lance Whitnell.
Maybe a run on the ball now and again, which he's desperate to do, Gerard.
He may well be, Pete, but you can find plenty of midfielders. It's difficult to find blokes in the forward line that can mark the footy and kick goals.
Cooter Feedy's for his first, and Carlton get their 6th goal.
So Cooter starts the quarter in fine fashion with a good mark and a solid shot at goal, but out of the centre is where I think Carlton will be most disappointed. They have been beaten badly in midfield, not just at centre bounces, but through the midfield, including your half-backs and your half-forwards. And if you're not winning the ball cleanly out of the middle of the ground, it makes it difficult on any forward structure that you've got.
And Matthew Allen has got many of the hit-outs in the middle, but they just haven't taken it away. As we see Alessio, in fact, as it was Alessio, Ratton getting it to Murphy. Murphy in towards the half-forward line. Heading towards the boundary line is Heffernan, and almost put into the fence. 53-point margin to the Bombers in a very, very impressive display.
I think the Bombers improved in the probably since half-time in that midfield takeaway area, but you could probably argue the game was over at half-time.
Mark Mercuri on screen has been absolutely brilliant. He has kicked 2, been responsible for a couple of others, has had 16 kicks, 6 handballs, and has taken 11 marks. Mind you, a few of them have been kicked to him by Carlton players. There he is, getting in a hand pass. He was looking for his teammate there in Johnson, Mark Johnson, but the ball was over. So throw in Somerville and Allen. Allen's battled hard. Here's Beaumont. He's trying to swing onto his favoured left foot. He bends it back towards the half-forward area. Whitnell has been well held by Wellman. Here's the other Johnson, Jason Johnson. Back with the flight of the ball was Murphy. He was bumped off. In fact, he might have been pushed off it. So it'll be Murphy's kick way out at half-forward.
Yes, appeared to cop a bit of a nudge from Johnson, so he's got the free kick on the outer side. It's really just on centre wing, and he drifts it inboard to Fraser Brown. Coming back into this lineup. Brown wants Whitnell. You can't have him though. McKay caught. Tackling has been good from the opening bounce here today. It's going to be interesting next week. The Bombers may get a very good idea of where they sit. That ball's coming back to Lappin for a free kick because they take on the Kangaroos at this ground. Lappin, 48 metres out, pulling it to the left. And Collingwood plays Carlton at the MCG, and that may not be a one-sided affair by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, the Magpies, sorry, Gerard, Magpies always lift for the Blues.
Oh, and I think they've been in good form for the last month without having won the game, but they may do something about that today.
A bit like Greg Chappell, playing all right, just getting out. Playing all right, the Pies just can't win.
Well, I think they've lost their last 3 games by less than 12 points collectively.
Carousella's short kick picked up by Lappin. He gives it away to Bradley. Craig Bradley's on centre wing for Carlton. Goes long up towards the 50. Good mark taken by Whitnell. Heffernan unable to spoil. Whitnell wants to go on with it. He's got Hickmott streaming down the ground.
To come back though, Sanders.
And Adrian can give it back. And Lance Whitnell will have to think what to do now.
Yeah, once the umpire blows time off, the player just can't play on. He's got to wait for him to recommence play.
How have you assessed his game today, Gerard? 6 kicks, 7 hand passes, 7 marks.
Well, he's worked hard, but he's just struggled, and a lot of the time the ball has come down in pretty haphazard fashion. He's been sitting underneath packs, and what the Bombers did so well in the first half was just crowd him out, dropping midfielders and wingmen back across that half-back line. They zoned off Whitnell's area pretty well.
Back to a 52-point margin. And back with Andrew Jukovic.
Jukovic, as we said earlier, very, very impressive. Wellman, I put on a good contest here. Look at that clever hand pass by McCurry to Somerville. That was very, very good. Mercedes, beautiful foot skills there by the Bombers. This is Caracella transferring play into the centre of the ground. He finds McCurry. He's going to just casually hand pass over the top. A delayed handball to Lelic was great play, McCurry. Lelic fires a goal. That's another one. Great play by the Bombers. Judd Lelic has kicked his first, but what about Gerard? That delayed handball by McCurry just sat up for his teammate.
Yeah, well, Mark McCurry really is just exploiting the situation now. The game is won, and he's just putting on a display. This was just clinical stuff coming from full back. Yeah. They flooded one side of the ground, got the ball away, and finally it was Lelic. Pretty impressive kick at goal.
Not the sort of play that inspires the Carlton hierarchy, but excellent work by McCurry and Lelic. So we go back into the centre, and there'll be a free kick going against Somerville, shepherding in the ruck. So Allen takes and gives it to Brown. He looks down towards Whitnall, who takes a fine grab. Some 60 metres out, and he just chips short. I think Moorcroft's given away a free kick, pushing Massey from the front. And the youngster from Edithvale, playing in just game number 13, will have a shot for goal. He's kicked just one. Quiet day for Massey today. Has spent time on the bench. Directly in front. 47 metres, gets underneath the drop punt, and again we hear the rattle of the woodwork.
And there's Gary Moorcroft, who can play a big part this year in the finals for the Bombers. He is a guy capable of kicking his 3 or 4 goals. Big mark for a little fella. Now the kick in, beautifully directed kick to Lelic. Lelic onto the left, swings it out wide. Beautiful kick to Johnson. Johnson gives it off to Wellman. Wellman, beautifully weighted kick in towards full forward. Manton helps it on its way and through for a behind to the Bombers.
Been impressive today, Sean Wellman, from centre half back. He really has controlled that area of the ground and also run off and given them plenty of drive. 20 possessions is a big day for a midfielder. For a centre half back, it's a fine return.
Oh, Bradley's kick to a dangerous area. There were plenty of Bombers.
Look at this.
Pryor. Pryor comes from the back line, outside 50, and bangs it through for a goal. Oh, even their defenders are going down and kicking goals now, Gerard.
Yes, he's had a prior opportunity to do so earlier in the match just for Johnny Russo, but this time he made no mistake about it. And he also is another player that's continued to get better as the season progressed after a bit of a slow start. And that half-back line, Pete, when you look at Wellman with 20 possessions and Pryor with 16 possessions, just getting too much of the footy for Carlton's likes.
11 Essendon players have kicked goals now. So a couple of the defenders getting in the action as they again build their lead. Koutafidis gives it to Ratton. Out of the middle go the Blues, up towards half forward. Lelic is showing plenty. Off to Jukovic. He kicked a goal earlier in the day. Blumfield's having a spell as we speak. It's on the outer side. Mercedes, if it sits, is away. Smokin' Joe into half forward. Alessio, 1-2 grabs. Big Steve.
Isn't he a tough bloke to match up on? Remember a game he played in a semi-final against the West Coast Eagles at this very ground. Kicked about 5 or 6 goals from full forward. And there just isn't, there aren't too many players in the competition that can match up on him when he's firing.
40 metres out. Helicopter punt. Is it okay? I think it is. So make that the 12th Essendon player to get amongst the goals this afternoon. Alessio's kicked his 19th for the season.
And Mark Fraser just keeping the attention of Camporelli away from Joe Mercedes. Joe Fraser. Smoking Joe. It's the rumble in the jungle.
I think Mercedes a fraction quicker now than Frazier.
Yes.
19-7 to 6-15. Allen has won most of the hit-outs in the centre of the ground, but they're just not getting it out. Now there's Fraser. He was looking for Buick. Brown tried to crash his way through. Oh, take it away is Buick. That was brilliant play in towards full forward Lloyd. He's been well held by Silvani. Good effort by Steve Silvani in a losing side. That's Bradley kicking it out to Lappin, who's added a bit of life across that forward line for the Blues. Still going on with that Lappin. Camporelli tried to hook it back to Ratton, but he's missed the target. And again, the pressure of the Essendon players.
51 plays 121 and a crowd of 66,000. We've just lost 10,000 there for the moment. 66,207. We'll get that correct. Camporelli in towards half four. There's been a whistle. It's got to come back, way back. So we haven't had too many over 50. In fact, I think up to this week, probably 10 games of crowds over 50. This is very healthy indeed, but many would be disappointed with the performance put up by Carlton.
And the common factor in 8 out of those 10 games has been the Bombers.
Yeah. Great drawing power, especially when they're on a winning run. Hickmott into the shadows, up towards half forward. Hand pass, if it sits, they could be in business here for Massey. Wanted the free kick and played for it. Beaumont gives it back to him. The Massey kick is smothered. Good work. Very good work. Blake Catasella.
And if I hadn't have played for Collingwood, Sandy, I would have been one of those 66,000. I was a mad Bomber supporter as a kid. Used to go every week.
Did you?
Ooh, never missed.
Who was your hero, Pete?
Ken Fraser,
Yeah, of course.
Louis Shelton, John Burke, Jack Clark, all that era.
Bradley sees it towards the line. A tired Craig Bradley, and it ambles over. Of course, Fraser's son, Mark, out here today.
And the current Ron Evans, the current chairman.
Yes.
And of the AFL, and he was one of my heroes as a kid.
There's a good mark by Steve Alessio. He's still firing on all fours. 65 metres out is Steve Alessio. An interesting kick into the hole, and there wasn't anyone there. Heffernan got a hand to it, but that was all. Here's a gimme goal. Blumfield, thank you very much. Blumfield gets his second. And this, if it was a cricket score, well, you'd consider declaring.
Yes, as you said, Sandy, into the hole. And that's why it's a hole, because there is no one there. And it worked a treat for the Bombers. Blumfield putting it away
And there's a hole
for his second goal of the afternoon.
The Bombers' career on their merry way, 27 to 6-15. Allen again gets the hit out, but it's just not happening for them. Here comes Johnson. Quick little give, and he finds Buick was about to show it to Nelson then. A little bit of around there by little Boris. Darren Buick, he's a great kick too. He's going for the long bomb at goal. It won't quite make the distance. Silvani swoops at the back. It's no mark.
Look at that tackle.
Oh, there's Silvani getting it across to Bradley. Essendon have been ferocious in their tackling. Here's Camporelli. Now Bradley. And Bradley, that low drop part to Whitnell. That's a great get by Whitnell, but he's missed the mark with the hand pass. Wellman was after him. Look at the tackling of Essendon. Now Pryor, who kicked that magnificent goal, takes it over the line.
11 and a half minutes remaining in this match. It's just a matter of how far for the Bombers at the moment. Scott Camporelli, he's certainly tried hard. 14 kicks, 7 hand passes, 3 marks to lift his side. Down to centre wing. Good defensive kick back over the head of Moorcroft. Out towards Lloyd. Back to Moorcroft again. Here's danger. He bends it back. Where's Bottas? Couldn't take it. An effective spoil is good. The Blumfield hand pass, Carosella from a standing start into Alessio and takes the mark. Could have just popped it over the top if he'd wanted to with the hand pass. But he'll go back now and he'll kick his 2nd goal for this quarter.
Would you have done that, Gerard? Handballed it over?
Not if you were my coach.
Alessio, 20 metres out, kicks his 2nd.
And once again, Sandy, that was just way too easy. Sean Wellman just continuing his domination. But this is where it hurt them. They put a 2-on-1 situation and left Gary Moorcroft, who stuck it up in the air into that hole. Boris couldn't quite grab it, but this was good play. And Blumfield, in fact, it was Carosella. Could have gone the long bomb, but he didn't. Smart play to Alessio.
Well, Steve Alessio, there he is, the big fella, dangerous. He's kicked 2. It's a fairly quiet day.
Peach, you've seen the Bombers at their best today. Where do you rate them as far as the premiership chances?
Well, I think they're well up there with they're in the top 4 for sure. Oh, good mark to Nelson. I think they're up there with the top 4 sides, and I think they're going to play a real big part in the premiership this year. They've got some very promising young players. There's Sexton. Depend a lot on who they can get back in. Well, they'll certainly get Fletcher back in. Defence will get even better. Here's Hogg. A wobbly kick, finds Brown. Fraser Brown, he's playing on, now onto the left. He kicks to a contest again, lapping underneath it over the back. Beaumont and Jukovic. Jukovic, was he hanging on? The umpire didn't think so. There's Wellman, he's been very, very good. He's impressed Gerard Healy. This guy's a good player, Lelich. Yep. Lelich drives to centre wing. Oh, that's a good mark to Alessio. Look at this, the running. Little Gary Moorcroft, onto the left. Lloyd, and under supreme pressure from Silvani, marks in front of the eyes. He played. Look at Silvani's desperation. That was fantastic by that champion full-back. The umpire will bounce, but even at this late stage, Silvani dived on the ball.
Yes, tremendous mark from Matthew Lloyd. And well, the Bombers are looking for records here this afternoon. Essendon's greatest winning margin so far this year is 81 points. They've just about got that covered. That was against the Swans in round 3, and their highest score was a total of 149 points.
So they're not far off that either. Another 16 points. The bottom line is it's going to be a massive percentage booster with under 8.5 minutes remaining. Lappin on the outer side, dodges a couple, looks towards half forward, unless of course Carlton get a lightning wriggle on. But when you've got players the calibre of Mark McCurry performing as he is, it'll be very, very difficult. Lalich has picked up a ton of possession since coming onto the ground. 7 kicks, 3 marks. Been a good effort by him. Towards left half forward, Silvani and Blumfield almost walking. Goes short and finds Lappin. Sexton is almost down to centre wing.
He's done a fair job, Sexton.
Whitnell is his target once again. Shoved into that ball and was able to take it on the chest. Quickly away to the newcomer in Fletcher. He kicks down towards the forward line. Beaumont, you're caught. Somehow he shrugged it. Kicked in towards Camporelli, and he will finish it off. So Carlton get, I guess we could say, a belated goal. Although for Camporelli, he's certainly tried his heart out. That is goal number
4, I make it.
3 or 4 anyway, but we'll have a look at it again.
I make it 4.
Beaumont going to Nelson, over the top to Camporelli. That's his 3rd.
Third, is it? Well, a belated goal to the Blues by Scott Camberelli. The Bombers, though, have just had all the answers all day. Their backline has been absolutely magnificent. They've had good players all round the ground. There's Joe Massetti smothered by Ratton. Murphy back to Ratton. Johnson charges in after Koutafidis. Great skill by Koutafidis. Onto the left. Lelic, he got into that hole that Sandy talks about so often and punches it over the line and out of bounds.
Been an impressive last quarter by Judd Lelic. In fact, he's done more. He's done well in more than just the last quarter. But we've seen a long bomb, a goal, and he plays quite tall. He's another one of Kevin Sheedy's weapons.
Good hand pass by Lappin on to Camberelli, and he's got another one. That's his fourth.
How much you got, Pete? He's got 4. Well, we said we'd find out a little bit about Carlton coming into this match. They played last week. They beat the premiers of the last couple of years, Adelaide, quite comfortably by over 40 points. But at Optus Oval, sometimes that can disguise a couple of deficiencies, and here today they'd be most disappointed. Scott Camberelli has worked diligently, got some goals, but the story out of this match is just how impressive the Bombers have been.
Well, let's see if they can get it out this time. The Blues, Somerville, well, they both really missed that one. There's Koutafidis. Oh, he's trying to prove something. He loves getting in that middle, and he wants
careful,
to play.
Boys, careful in the middle.
The left hand into the face, not a punch. And Alessio's saying he copped it first, and he's going to end up with the kick. Big Steve Alessio. Let's see what happened. Oh, it just... Oh. And Steve got the free kick. He was caught a little bit high in that tackle. So Alessio finds Jukovic. He's exciting to watch. He's going to run through the middle and bomb it goal. Lloyd has marked. He has finally broken the shackles. Look at Silvani. He's not happy because he's a very proud man, Steve Silvani. Still won't be an easy kick from that angle. But Silvani was really dirty on himself because he's held Lloyd all day. Lloyd's kicked 2. And look at Steve. Magnificent fullback. Well, he was named fullback of the century and a regular fullback for Victoria. Gerard Healy, the chairman of selectors, has chosen him time and time again. Now Lloyd is going the check side. Oh, he just snuck it in past the post for a goal. So Matthew Lloyd has kicked his 3rd.
The Soss coming to the boundary line for a bit of a rest. Chris Massey coming back onto the ground. But a job well done by Steve Silvani. As always, he's contributed. This was an exciting mark just to watch because the ball was moving through the air at a great rate of knots. That was the classic mongrel punt. It was the definition of the mongrel punt. You saw the way it landed in his hands. It was spinning in 3 directions.
Not pretty, but he was very, very effective. Koutafidis out of the middle. Murphy on the outer side for Carlton. Goes down towards half forward. Wellman, the spoiler. Hickmott, first to recover. Murphy through strongly. Hogg, the hand pass back. Maybe they can set something up in the middle. Here's Fletcher. Making his debut today from the Geelong reserves. Nelson's under the pump. He's able to get it away quickly, however. Chipped inside 50, and the mark taken by the man who's just come back out onto the ground in Chris Massey.
I'll tell you what, Gerard, Cooter's looking pretty good in at those centre bounces. That's where he wants to play, and he's got that out 2 or 3 times now.
Well, Adam Goods is doing a great job in that role as a guy about the same size and athletic ability as Cooter. But they've got Tony Lockett up in the forward line. The Blues haven't.
Massey's 55 metres out. Drops short, and Lalic takes a good knee.
And as we know, Pete, there's only one Tony Lockett.
You're going to sing it in a moment.
I'll leave that to you. That's always been one of your great strengths.
That's one of your strong points. Hogg Carousella at the back couldn't take it. Brown working hard to Whitnell. Just inside the 50 is Big Lance. Spears in the hand pass to Ratton, back to Whitnell. They're giving away a little bit of ground here. Nelson's in trouble. Gives it back to Brown. The pressure is relentless. Sexton now gets a kick away finally. In towards the pocket. Massey the target. But Wellman is the spoiler.
Forward pocket about 20 metres around from the Carlton goal. There's Wellman, who's been very, very good. Whitnell's tried his heart out as usual. He's a very good young player. Carousella gets it to Johnson. That's Jason Johnson. Out towards Buick. Buick and Bradley. Oh, two of the experienced players. That was a good contest. Bradley on the left. Looking down here to half forward. Hamill flew, couldn't grab it. Here's Joe Mercedes. Advantage paid. It was a free kick behind the plate. The long kick out towards centre wing. Blumfield. Johnson. This is the other one. Mark Johnson bringing it into Lloyd. And Lloyd would be absolutely wrapped if Silvani is off the ground because he's about to kick his fourth. Beaumont, there's Silvani. And he held Lloyd all day. And then now in this last couple of minutes, I wouldn't be surprised if Lloyd kicks a couple, Gerard.
No, it's a big weight off the shoulders when Steve Silvani leaves the field and you're full forward for the opposition.
So Matthew Lloyd, this brilliant young forward, can still end up with 5 goals. He's going for his fourth. Directly in front. Oh, he's hooked this. He might have just got it. He has. Matthew Lloyd's got his fourth, and the Essendon. This is a shellacking. 23-7 to 8:15 when everyone came here, Gerard, expecting a tight game.
Yeah, there were some even, Pete, that thought that the Blues might win today.
Like you.
Well, there was a bit of a suggestion about that, yeah.
Yeah, it took the wind out of his sails.
Let's get back to Carlton.
Well, it's been a very, very good performance. 4 goals to Lloyd, 4 to Wallace, 3 to Moorcroft, and 2 to Alessio. They're the major contributors. Johnson tried to get it out of the centre, thrown out towards Blumfield. Magnificent! Back to Johnson. Johnson goes to Lloyd. Lloyd, Beaumont. Beaumont towards the line. And there'll be a throw in the right forward pocket for Essendon. .145 plays 63. I think Gerard said the highest Essendon score was 151 for the season. So that can be equalled with a goal now, but Bradley defends. Poking wide, not far enough, however. Johnson onto the left foot, kicks it back towards Alessio. There's a big pack of players there. Pryor was waiting down. He's still going. Michael Pryor, still going. Still going. He can't pick it up. Moorcroft eventually gets it out towards Mercedes. Mercedes goes wide to Heffernan. Heffernan drifts it in towards the pocket. They are dog-tired now. Slapped back into play, and one behind goes on the board.
Yeah, it was 149 points, their highest score, Sandy, so they're 3 points away.
That was back in round 3 against Sydney, and they gave them a decent old toweling by over 80 points. Here's Michael Sexton. Not a very pretty punt up towards right half forward. Wellman, fearing that he was held, and in frustration gestures to the umpire. It'll be a free kick to Whitnell. Long way out. That's okay. He can just go short and find Fletcher. 45-degree angle, kicking from just inside 50. With under 2 minutes remaining. Darkness descending pretty quickly here at the MCG now. Going for distance, he goes across the face of goal. It's okay though, because Massey has taken the mark. From one youngster to another. Chris from Edith Vale, just 19 years of age.
And Struggled a little bit this season, Sandy, but good to see the Blues giving him a bit more grounding with a few games later in the year.
Yep. He's got a long, long way and a lot of footy ahead of him. And he's kicked a goal. Well done, Chris. So Massey gets his first. He becomes only the 6th Carlton player to score a goal today, whereas Essendon, on the other hand, have 12 players who have scored at least a goal.
They really need some younger players like Chris Massey, Pete, to come through and be ready to replace some of their superstar veterans.
I'm not sure they've got many good young players coming through. I think they're going to have a lot retiring in the next 3 or 4 years of this current side. So I think they're really at the crossroads, the Blues. Recruiting is going to be a big factor for them. As we see Barry Young, well, he's smiling there on the bench, so maybe that knee is not as serious as we first thought.
And free agency, which many thought would have been the salvation of the Blues, has been well closed out because of the new agreement between the Players Association and the AFL.
That's true. Now, Koutafidis has been very, very impressive in this last 10 minutes in the middle. He's got it out 3 or 4 times. That's a very good mark by Solomon, who particularly in the first half was outstanding across half-back. He's very, very tough and hard at the football. Finds Carosella, who's just slowing it down there across half-back. Now it's kicked. Well, they don't really need to do this because they've got the game won. They should be going forward to kick a few more. Now they might. Oh, no mark. Good play by young Massey. He deserved a goal. So they were mucking around too much. Well, I wish he had kicked that. No, I wouldn't have played the mark. I reckon the umpire was dead right there.
Looked a free kick to me, Pete.
To who?
The Bombers.
To Pryor, did you? On there. Oh, it might have been high. If that's what you mean. But yep. I think they were just... that kick it across and all that, I think that's a lot of rubbish. I love it when they kick it to the opposition, they get a goal when they do that.
We love it when you say what you mean too, Pete. Lalich was a big flyer. Hamill tried to get it out.
Second Pete's sitting on the fence.
Well, the crowd hates it for a start. Now, the crowd really do hate all that kicking sideways and backwards.
The Blues love Anthony Koutafidis, and he's got 3 centre bounce clearances alone this quarter.
He's only been in there about
3 times.
2.5 minutes.
Hickmott runs into Lalich, loses it. Lalich tries to tie it up again. And he's a real workhorse, is Judd Lalich. Playing just his 7th game. In Carlton's 50-metre area again. Rat still trying. He need not bother now. He can head for the showers because the Bombers have recorded a huge and emphatic win. 23 goals, 8. That is exciting kicking for goal. 146. Carlton 9-16-70. So the margin is 70 points.